Hello, hello, lovely sim racers. I am Constantinos, and this is Lovely Sim Racing. And tonight is Chill Chat and Dev Wednesday, so no racing, absolutely no racing. Well, I might jump into a sim and test a few things that I want, but tonight, it's all about developing and chatting a bit about things that are coming this Friday. Actually, so what's today? It's Wednesday. When's Friday? In 2 days, and I still need to do things. Yeah, I always put myself in a corner. So I promised I'll have 2.6.1 this Friday, and it will have a few interesting updates. I do have a changelog somewhere, but this is what I do. I say I'll put it out in 2.6.1. I have a changelog of things that I've already implemented. And then instead of finishing up a few more things that I want to do, I go on ahead and start developing new things. So, I'm crazy, I know. Mark, how you doing, man? And Roger, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you guys. Let me know if the stream is fine, because for the first time in ever, this never happened. YouTube basically gave me a pop-up saying your stream is at 24 kilobits, and you only need 13. And I don't know why it would say that, because I am at 1440p 60 frames per second. I don't know. It seems to be fine though. I don't see any problem. But anyway, so what I'm actually doing, and this is something that started from a lot of conversations I've had. So I'll talk about 2.6.1 later. It's the whole stream is going to be me working on this thing. But there's one thing that I'm actually working on new, and that is it spawned from conversations in the Discord. In 2.6, I added track data. So now you have in any map in the dash or pit wall or anywhere, there's a little thing that says turn 1, 2, 3, 4. And many said, we want names. I wanted to say maggots and Beckett's. Chapel or whatever, just turns. If there is a name, show the name. If there isn't, just put the number. And then also, I think it was Daniel Newman. He also mentioned, well, why not have hanger straight? Why just turns? Let's put everything in there. And that's what I'm doing. So that requires a brand new file format for track data, which means I haven't released it yet, so there is no official track data format. There is none. It's just something that's local inside the dash that lives, but that's going to change. The idea is... SimHub, so many errors. What's wrong with you? Oh, it's restarting. The idea is that file format, I want to create a more generic file format that would include, the track names, track turns and straights and sectors, which are important. And because this is for sim racing, I also want to include per track and per game, obviously, but per track, depending on the car class, time delays, which these things already exist. Don't get me wrong, they already exist in what I have. But what I have is it's just one big file that's split up with a lot of tracks and sims in just one file. I want to do it the other way around, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find the file format, and when I do it, this will be public, so all the ACC tracks will live in there. Every track per sim will be in its separate file. That's something I need to work on and see, when you load up a new track or a new game, I need the dash to somehow figure out that it's not the right one and reload the new data once at the beginning of the session, so you don't have to always reload it. Leatherwood, good afternoon, man, and good evening and good morning, depending on where you are, of course. So I'm working on that, but most importantly, it actually is working now. I got it to work. It's very manual. Let me show you guys really quick, because I'm actually happy with these things. When these things start working, I'm actually really happy. So let me pull up. I got a whole bunch of stuff. This is basically the track data stuff. It's in a repository. It'll be a bit, it's not that complicated, but we'll see what it's going to be like. Windowed mode. Depending on where the driver is. Oh yeah, wait, sorry, I actually, yeah, this is me just being me. I actually was working right before the stream. I just hit the button. I'm like, what the hell? So this needs to be uncommented. No, don't destroy. Damn, what am I doing? Uncommented. And there's a new function in town. So you'll see here, it's really, you know, rough. You can see turn names. This is in Barcelona. It's the only track I've actually converted. Let me switch over to coding. It'll be better. Set. This is turn. These are the names. And when there's no name, it shows the number of the turn. And it works pretty fine. I haven't put, like, that's turn 6. And it works pretty good. Dan, how you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Virt. So it works pretty good with the format that I've designed. Well, if I've not designed it, it's the format that I had. Plus, someone sent me a link to another repository that had track data, but the track data there didn't have all the important Simracing information. It was just track data was derived from other actual track data. So, yeah, I'm gonna see if this format will be better. And when I'm finished with this, the format, the repository will be public. So that actually means that, first off, the dash will require an internet connection to get the information, and if there is none, it just won't show the track names and everything. So again, you're safe. But most likely, if you're running iRacing or any game online and you want to have track names, you will be online, so you will have that information, which is fine. And they're also, like, everyone, because it's going to be a repository on GitHub, you will be able to contribute as well. And if there's a mistake or an update, you will also be able to update it, so it'll be public. And of course, everyone will have access to the same data. So if you're creating a dashboard, you can just use the same JSON files. That's going to be free. It's going to be open. Anyone can use it. Anyone can update it, and do whatever you want with it. I just want to create a repository with every single track possible, and I can't do that on my own. I did that for ACC, and it took me like a month because I was doing other stuff as well. So the idea is that everyone will be able to contribute and add track data for any track. And I want to create the code in such a way where if there isn't, the time delays for stop and go or, drive through, it won't be the end of the world. It just won't show it. So track data can be as rich as you want and as lean as you want. So working towards that direction. And the absolute minimum is the apex of every turn. But you can also be with more detail on how, like, the start of the turn and the end of the turn. Anyway, it's all going to be there. That's what I'm kind of like working on. Hey, Daniel Bruno, how you doing, man? I was just talking about your requests, Daniel. I don't know if you were here from the beginning of the stream. Remember how you said you want to have, well, why not have straight names as well? We have turn numbers. Let's have turn names and straight names. Well, that's what I'm doing. And you'll see here, actually, you'll see it in the right over there. Where is it? Here. Elf. This is in Barcelona. So now what I'm showing is turn names of Barcelona. If there isn't a name, it'll show a number. And you can also have straights, yeah, obviously. And at first, as always, I will provide data for all ACC tracks because that is my sim of choice and I use it and I have that data. I just need to convert it to the new format. And when I launch it and publish it, everyone will be able to contribute as well. So, and we're working with Jorg. Actually, this is not true. Jorg has developed a tool to collect data from Gran Turismo because that's his sim of choice. He already has already a lot of tracks, so he'll try and collect that, obviously, and maybe convert it. I don't know how he'll do it, but he also has developed a tool that helps him collect the data. So I haven't seen how that actually works, but eventually the idea is that in this repository where the track data live, I'll also have a downloadable dash or file that will help you create the data. So whenever you jump into a session, you can record a replay or just drive around and it would collect the data for you. You'd map that into the file and upload it. But we'll see the process. We shall see. We shall see. But anyway, you can see it working at this point up here. New Holland, I think it's the last turn in Barcelona. The first one is Elf, if I'm not mistaken. So it should be ignition off. All right, so before I go into, before I go down, I wanna comment out all the turn information stuff because I don't want it running in the background because I know it's not optimized at this point. And also hide it. Hit save. So what I want to do is show you guys how the new ignition off works. I wonder if you could get that app that has all the track names and just import from it. Which app is that? And maybe we can convert it. As I said, everything that I found has basically all the information. I'm not gonna lie. But the information is for the track, it's not for each sim, so it might have differences. Shouldn't, but it might. I don't know that. But it also doesn't have information for, like, you know, stop and goes and drive through, which is something very important for the pit wall. So if you're in the GT3 and you're in Barcelona, the drive through has a typical delay of, let's say, like 42 seconds, standard drive through, and a stop and go is 77 seconds. So stop and go 30 second basically is like 77 seconds delay. That's for the GT3s. And GT3s go up to, like, you know, 50 kph within the pit lane, whereas Formula 1 does 80 in the pit lane. So their drive-through is a lot shorter. So the idea is in the track data per class or per type of car, I will also put that in there. So depending on what your sim you're running on, or if you're in, let's say, iRacing, and you're in Barcelona and you're driving a Formula 1 car, it would give you the information for that class. Or if you're in a multi-class race, GT3 and LMPs, whatever, it will give you, depending on your car, it will give you the delay you'd have, which is what we have in the circular graph on the pit wall, where you see where you'd come out, you know, approximately. So that kind of information doesn't exist. So this will be unique, but also can be used everywhere. And this is just extra information. So it won't do any harm if you don't want to use it. It'll be there if you want to, though. Iñaki, how you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. All right, so I'm going to fire up ACC, and I will show you how the new ignition off screen works. And it is a setting which you can turn off if you don't want to. Let me fire it up. I'm not turning on Jim. I don't want Jim talking to me now. I'll just show you guys how this thing's working. So let me switch over to POV just so you guys can see. Okay. So you can see the dashboard. It's standard in default mode. It'll always be like that. But once you join a session, then that triggers the ignition off mode. The mode where that's a practice session, Nürburgring, sure. It'll trigger it, so it'll trigger the realism basically. So now it goes into that mode, as you can see. I don't know if you can actually see it, because it is quite dark, intentionally so. So if I turn off, wow. What about if I take off the filters from the cameras and everything? Okay, there it is. It looks ugly, the colors, but this is what you see, right? So it is fairly dark, everything. Let me turn on my lights around me because it's too dark. What happens now is you're in this realism mode, right? So when ignition is off, you see nothing. If I go out to drive, you see nothing. When I hit the ignition on, dashboard starts, which is pretty much what you expect to see, right? Start it. You're good. Pit limiter. We're out. I'm drinking and driving. Right? Now, if for whatever reason I switch the ignition off, it goes into that mode again. Turn it back on, it's on again. I did implement a point where if I hit the pause, it would show me, it wouldn't go into realism mode. But let me try something else. So if I'm here and I hit pause, it goes out again. Okay? Just showing you how this thing works. So when you're in the game and ignition is off, if you hit pause, for whatever reason, it will show you the dash. Because this is important because you might have, you know, tire average data. So this is collecting information, right? I hit that, I turn it off. Oh crap, I can't see anything now. Once I hit pause, I can see it. So you're not in that realism mode, you're basically outside again, right? Now, one more thing which was very, very important. If I go back to the garage, right? This is going to go into realism mode because now you don't need this information. What happens if I go to the setup menu? So once I hit setup, it exits that mode again. So now when I'm in the setup menu, I can look at my tires and look at what I had, the averages. This is all saved, right? This won't go away. And I can set up my tires and everything. And once I go back out, it goes back to the realism mode. It's always going to be there unless I hit pause or unless, you know, I exit or I turn it on. That's how it's going to work. That is the intention of how it's going to work. This is how it's going to work for ACC. And I said that that's very important for ACC because not all games have properties for the setup menu. So I need to figure out how this same thing will work for iRacing, Automobilista, R-Factor, and all the other sims. So that's the process that I'm actually in right now. Yeah, dude. You've done an amazing job with the profile, though. So, yeah, kudos. Daniel Newman Racing. If you haven't tried them yet, Daniel has been creating LED profiles for DDUs. He's got multiple formats. I don't know if you've done for a wheel, I think too, but mostly it's the LED format for DDUs and multiple formats for that as well. And he's just done some amazingly advanced stuff. So you guys can head over to Daniel Newman. I think we created a short link, right? lsr.gg/DNR. Hit that URL. It'll take you to Daniel's homepage where you can link back to Discord and everything. I remembered that correctly. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, you can try out his LED profiles, and please be sure to contribute to his work and support him on it, because I know he's been spending a hell of a lot of time on them. I feel you, man. I feel you. Alright, what's just a suggestion? You know, when the dash is in standby mode, it would be amazing when you press the ignition. It would transition in like a real car. It only needs like 100. Just fade. There is no fading. There is no fading. And don't ask me to create a script to fade in that. It wouldn't. I want to start having to pay you for mentioning me nicely every time you stream. Well, you are paying me. This is a sponsored. You don't know that. I'll send the invoice. Don't worry about it. MP, awesome stuff. Any chance to get the tire temps or map widget as individual overlays? How do you mean individual overlays? You mean just have them on your stream? Have you tried the lovely overlay? The lovely overlay is, yeah, I think it's an overlay that has the most basic information. It doesn't have your car settings, so traction control, that's not there. Can't see that, but it has a whole bunch of other stuff, and you can set if you want to have, you know, your track time, your lap times, opponents, or whatever you want, damage. You can predefine that in a settings file. Thanks, Daniel. I'm kind of worried about the other sims, right? So this actually works, and I'll show you in the I don't want this anymore. Let's get out of ACC. Don't need it. Don't care. In the settings file, it will be a brand new key, called ignition off, and currently it's turned on over there. And this will be, once this launches on Friday, this feature 2.6.1, this also will be added in the settings file configurator online. So what you need to do just to get this thing working is go to the settings configurator, lsr.gg/configurator, go there, select your file, your current settings file from, you know, the standard, you know, simhub/JavaScript extensions folder. Select your file, upload it, scroll down to wherever that ignition off will be, hit a 1 or 0, whatever you want, and re-download it and replace the existing file. It's that simple. So you will maintain all of your settings and just add a new one. If you don't do that, then ignition off will be considered off. So the default is off unless you turn it on. I just need to figure out how I'm going to do this for the rest of the Sims, because they don't have I think pause menu exists, but there's no settings menu, and that kind of hurts bad. Don't know. Hey Jeff, yeah, you do you, man, you do you. MP, no, but this, I mean, you could essentially do it on your own. Like, these things are widgets, so you can move them around, but it wouldn't make sense for me to make widgets for everything. This isn't Race Labs. This isn't Race Labs. Yeah, I've not really. You can see now I'm actually having a fight in my mind. Maybe, maybe not. It's not a bad idea, to be honest. I'm not gonna get angry. It's, you know, it's denial, anger, acceptance. So I went through denial, saying no. Now I'm thinking about it. Look, I can't say no, but I also can't say yes, because I don't know. It's a completely new product after that. And then it would be like, how do you set it up, and how do you download these? Are they overlays? You just add them in your layout, which obviously you can. But it's just it's a brand new chapter. So maybe I'll think about it. Maybe it can make some sense and have it as a general direction maybe for the future. I'm not entirely sure. But you can if you're kind of semi-technically savvy, just not that much. You can just go into the dash and just grab the files, or just create a new dashboard in SimHub and copy the widget and put it in there and change the page. There's things you can do, but you need to have a bit more, you know, just a tiny bit of technical savviness. Is that a word, savviness? Savviness, is it? Bruno, congratulations. I've done that once or twice. Maybe once. 2 races in a row with no SR loss. Maybe once. Maybe once. And I've been racing for such a long time. Yeah, MP, I mean, I listen to all feedback. Honestly, I listen to all feedback. Some feedback is outrageously awesome, and it's like, I gotta do it now. Other feedback is something that, if it's popular, I will consider it, obviously, and most likely will implement. And other stuff are like, they're good, but that requires a bit of a strategic change in the actual product. It's a bit harder to implement. That's what I'm saying. It's not that it can't be done. It's just that I need to rethink everything then, because I don't want the Lovely Dashboard to be a Race Lab replacement. Well, it depends on how you use it, but I don't see it like that. Like, you know, there's a place for everything. The Lovely Dashboard does one thing, and now if you want to use the Lovely Dashboard for everything, okay, let's think about that for a while and see how that would work. Well, I've not considered it. I have not seen it like that. So, yeah. All right, so that's coming in 2.6.1 this Friday. So the ignition off. What else have I done? I'm reading the changelog here. Session widget updated completed laps for current lap. Okay, one thing that you guys asked for. So let me just put it here, turn this on, anything, just so you guys can see something running. Alright, let's go. You can see the ignition off too. This is just a replay. Not much. So when you're in a lapped, when you're in a session based on laps, you now see your current lap, not the completed lap. So that was something that was, it was updated basically in 2.6.0, but apparently it's not what you guys wanted. So I'm reverting it back to that. That's one thing. The other thing is, let me launch a, I think I have an F1. I think, I'm not entirely sure, maybe. So this, I think it has, yeah, so this is something you asked as well. So you can see here, when it's in qualifying, it shows the time remaining and the lap you're on, right? So this is qualifying, you can see how much time you have left and the laps you're on. But once you go into, and this qualifying might be lap based as well, but you also mentioned, and I remember this from lone qualifying in iRacing, correct me if I'm wrong, but even if it's like a lone qualifying session and you only have 2 laps to do the thing, as Jim says, you still have like 8 minutes to do the 2 valid laps. So looking at the total time left is more important than the laps themselves. So now any qualifying or practice session shows you your remaining time rather than laps. But once you go into a session that is lap based, it switches out and shows you, you know, 6 of 35 laps and your position is 6 of 20. And this is your current lap you're on, not the, it is not the completed laps. So that's the second thing. Oh, the other one is this one you might have noticed. Position gain loss. You will need the latest SimHub version, so I'm putting that as a requirement in the next version as well. So what is it, 9.1.29? So Nicolas fixed. He basically created a delay. He did some magic there when switching sessions, and now it works. I tried it yesterday on LFM, and it worked flawlessly on both races. So now it should be okay. I actually made changes to the dash as well because it was using some other properties. I was trying to fix it, but obviously it was a SimHub native problem. So now that SimHub is done, I reverted those changes back to a more native approach, but it works now. As long as I've seen, everything I've seen works fine. So this has been updated, and I also updated, do I have it here? Updated the information in the tower as well. So there you have it. This is Dox's replay. I don't know if he's in the chat right now. He was in Discord moments ago. Bruno, yesterday I switched dark mode, my hotkey, and then the dash keep flashing between dark and normal mode. Entire race, I had to switch the dash off but keep the same. Really? Okay, why would that happen? What sim were you running on? Bruno, what sim were you running on? Let's try and replicate it. So, also, keep in mind, I mean, this is no requirement obviously, but if you're running ACC, it's best to keep the native mode, the ACC. Okay, I've not seen anything like that, but I'm using it on native now. Following Daniel's suggestion, native works best for ACC. Native mode in settings file, if you turn it on, basically means there are 2 light stages. First light stage is dark mode, second light stage is true dark mode. If you turn true dark mode off, it won't ever go into true dark mode. It's just that for some reason, I don't know exactly why, but in ACC, the hotkey isn't as stable as the other sims. Like I go like, this is Formula 1. If I turn it on, it works. Just by a click, it works perfectly. This is Formula 1. And although I do have native turned on, but because F1 doesn't have lights, who'd have thought that Formula 1 cars don't have lights, right? But they don't, if you didn't know that. So it automatically reverts to the trigger. And you can see it, just click on it, and it works perfectly fine. In ACC, it's giving me trouble. Now, it could be the... well, actually, Bruno... McLaren when I switch the lights... make sure you're using a non-conflicting hotkey. That would probably be the reason why it's not working. Yes, but Daniel, he doesn't have native on, so if it's not native, it would trigger with the hotkey. Unless the card, well, no, it doesn't matter if it has light stage or not. You can trigger it. If it's non-native, you can trigger the dark mode from the dash without needing it to be native. If you have native turned on, which requires a second light stage, and if the card doesn't have a second light stage, then you're kind of like screwed because you won't be able to turn it on. But let me turn on. I don't have many replays here for ACC. I do have, but I don't have many cars. So let's say the Ferrari, it'll turn on. But first, let me go and turn off. Let me turn off the native, true dark mode native. Turn this off. Save. And let me just restart the dash. Actually, this would be best, sorry. So now, when it starts, so this is in ACC, you saw how in Formula 1 it worked perfectly, it was flawless. In ACC it's giving me some trouble. Okay, it works now. But you can hear in the background Windows because I've got some window. That's fine. No, it works. It works. Yeah, it's fine. So this is non-true dark mode native. It's off. So now, even if I did go into, you know, second light stage, it wouldn't do anything here. It would just, you know, have it night mode and that's it. So I would still need to have the trigger. Bruno, try your hotkey. Find a hotkey that does not exist. It's probably conflicting with something. I don't know what. It's probably conflicting with something on your system. I changed my hotkey, to be honest, a few times, and now I've settled for Alt-Shift-D for dark mode and Alt-Shift-A for the average tire reset, which is here. Let me move that there. So if I go like that, it resets. You can see I have one key. So you can see what that does, right? Because I have it selected. Once I hit the shortcut, it will print it out. This does quotes. But anyway, but you can see it resets the tire lap average, and also goes into true dark mode. I would suggest changing your hotkeys and try it again. AMS2 Jack has a single light stage as far as I know. So if it has a single light stage, then it will go into night mode when you turn on the lights. It will go into night mode, and you would still need to trigger for true dark mode. I could be wrong, I don't remember. And all cars have different settings. To be safe, to be absolutely safe, using the hotkey and non-native, you'd be safe. Everything would work unless there's an issue with the, you know, with your hotkeys or something like that. Using it native is just a bit more easy, and there's a huge bonus when you use the native. And native, as far as I know, only works with ACC right now. The bonus is, if you're using native, then Daniel Newman's LED profiles automatically switch to the color as well. So if you've selected true dark mode red, for instance, then the LED profile will turn on the red version as well. If you have like the orange, they will become orange automatically. You do not need to do anything. You download the profile, you install it, you import it, you install it, and you're done. You don't need to do anything. It automatically reads, optionally, but it automatically reads the lovely dashboard settings file as well. So depending on what color you've set your dashboard to be in true dark mode, the LED profile will also change. I don't know what that was. Updates are available from Windows. Don't you dare update now. I had changed because shift and something does caps and better to use other. Yeah, Bruno, actually just use Alt-Shift-D. Try this out. Alt-Shift-D and Alt-Shift-A for dark mode and tire reset, and let me know. I'm gonna assume it's that. You know, there's no one, like, I don't even know what I have, like Shift-A, I think, in the default settings file. There's no way for me to know if you have something mapped on your system. Every game has like a million different hotkeys. I don't know which ones, what games. I won't bother to be honest. If you guys want, I'll make this default in the settings file. This seems to be working with ACC as far as I know. I don't know if it's going to be the same thing for iRacing and not. It seems to be working fine. And in ACC, and I can switch True Dark Mode on, off. Resetting works really fine. It's great. So yeah. Maybe you could do a Stream Deck icon for dark mode. Jack? Done. Of course I have that. Of course I have, man. Let me show you. You go into your whatever here, and you go to icon library, and these are all the lovely icons, and there is, I need to find it, but there it is, TDM, True Dark Mode for the Switch. And there's also a whole bunch of other stuff, like, you know, the right MFM, left MFM, actions. Yeah, this is a whole bunch of stuff. You know, center mod, left for your cameras, the fuel mod, the bottom one, hit buttons. So yeah, knock yourselves out. I got you covered. You know, sometimes it's right in front of you. You just have to stop looking for it. All right, so we did that. So I showed you guys how the True Dark Mode works and everything. Let's continue on what's coming on this Friday. So we fixed the position. Alerts added. The alerts added ignition off screen. Oh yeah, that's just the ignition off I showed you. I'm actually reading my own notes and they suck. Oh, you guys are gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Trust me. So this is an ACC. But you know how you always keep on telling me that iRacing and ACC and all of the games, the actual gap to the guy ahead and behind is never accurate? We got to deal with that, right? There is literally nothing I can do. I cannot calculate that number. If SimHub can't do it, I won't do it. I just literally cannot do that inside of the dash. So I rely on the SimHub data. And if Nikolai's trying and he can't do it, it's because he doesn't have the data. A lot of people say, but you know, Race Labs does that, and then yeah, fine, go use those apps. Those apps don't use the same data set. They're using, I think it's like a UDP, real stream, whatever, streaming it. It's a different thing. It's like what the broadcaster uses. Now, why doesn't SimHub use it? I can't answer that. The truth is, though, that we don't have that information coming directly to us. So what did I do? I added one piece of information. I am in opponents, and I'm on my own, that's why. Sorry, I need to find a better. Here we are. Go into a race. So I have added this little piece of information. So now, okay, maybe the gap isn't precise, because it's really, you need to understand how hard it is to calculate that. We know the exact position of you, yourself, and other drivers on the car, on the track, but I'll give you a quick example. If there's a track that's 1 minute long, best lap is 1 minute long, when you're at 50% of the track, you haven't done 30 seconds and you don't have 30 seconds left. Tracks have turns, so if the first 50% of the track was a straight, then you do that in 10 seconds, and then you'd have to do the rest of the track in another 50 seconds. So, and that's why it's hard to calculate. Like when you're in turn, someone's ahead of you and behind you, it's not straightforward. You just say, okay, I'm in that position on track and he's there, and that's how much difference. You can't do it like that. It doesn't work like that. There are turns and fast turns and slow turns, so it's really hard to calculate. Maybe there's a better way, but I don't know. So what I did is that one thing is for sure, we know the position your car is on track. So we know exactly where you are on track. And we also know your opponents. And that's what we're showing here. So you can see the guy ahead of me is 120 meters. He's opening the gap, 150 meters. The guy behind me is 105, 108, 110. So I'm opening that gap. And this works really well when you're really close. And you can see that like 10 meters away. And the guy ahead of you is 5 meters. That works really well. So it's just an added bit of information to help you understand the gaps, especially when you're running really close to someone. Now, here's another thought. If the guy ahead of you is 30 seconds, because he's gone like even 10 seconds away, okay, maybe it doesn't say 10 seconds, maybe it says 9 seconds, 11 seconds. You still need to push. Like, it's like, I see people saying, but the gap was, in reality it was 9, but it was showing me 9.5 or 10 seconds. Fine, okay. It can't be that accurate. I don't know how to fix that. But again, if someone's 9 seconds ahead of you, you might as well say goodbye. All right, put the pedal to the metal. It's hammer time. Do what you want, but you got to reduce that time anyway. So it's kind of like obsolete. Like, you know, he's 9 seconds ahead. But when you're close, I think the gap, the actual physical distance gap, will help estimate and everything. So I don't know if you guys like it, but I think this will kind of like, you know, sit in between the inaccuracy of the time gap. Donuts 1975. The new version is brilliant. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for this masterpiece. Well, thank you again. I cannot decide between blue or orange dark mode. If you're actually going to use it, Donuts, I love your username. If you're actually going to use it for an endurance race, if you're actually going to use it for a dark environment, you know, something like this, and you want to focus on your driving, use the blue. Blue is a color that reduces melatonin in your body, which means you are far more alert and less risk of getting sleepy. Of course, if it's 3 a.m. and you don't have anyone to talk to on Discord and you're racing, you'd probably get sleepy anyway, but blue will negate that, even if it's so much. Red is something that will probably want to make you sleep. So the colors are really nice. Blue would be the one you'd want to use. Other than that, I think red is pretty nice. Orange reminds me of the old computers. But it's up to you to decide. There's 4 colors in there. And there's a new feature coming later this quarter, which will allow you to change your own colors and go bonkers, create your own theme. We'll see how that goes though. Will there be an option that enables dark mode by default? Jack has replied, yes, that is the native mode. So what sim do you use, Donuts? Which sim do you run? Because that's the only difference between native mode and non-native mode. Silvio, what the fuck? Want to look? What is some hub telling me about my browser and pit wall issue? Now it doesn't crash. The last 4 days it crashed. Oh, Silvio, yes, you're the one that's telling me that's crashing. Right, fine. There's not much I can do other than have my browser. Actually, it is running pit wall here. It's running pretty smoothly as well, and I have, you know, a whole bunch of other stuff. It's not crashing, and I'm using Chrome because Firefox is Firefox, but whatever. And you can see it's running, and the pit wall also is showing overall, and you can also switch to your class, but this is ACC, so there are no classes. Well, at least thank you for, you know, not crashing, I guess, your browser. Donuts, iRacing. Alright, so you want to set a hotkey. Donuts, you want to set a hotkey because iRacing doesn't have light property. So you want to set a hotkey there. Anyway, in the settings file or the configurator online, you go and you set a hotkey. I've tried Alt, Shift, and D for dark mode. And then you map it in to whatever your steering wheel or wherever you want. You map it in SimHub. And whenever you hit that key, it triggers that hotkey essentially, and it switches to dark mode. kind of what I have here. It's just a hotkey. I can trigger it to dark mode anytime I want. I have a video, the walkthrough for 2.6.0, and the configurator as well. Those two videos, you should watch them. I go through every single option in 2.6, and also explain how you can do the hotkeys and everything. I did have a hiccup in the demo, which didn't work, but towards the end, I realized that I had to restart SimHub. So if you do something, make a change to the settings file, and it's not working, restart SimHub. Sometimes it needs that, you know, it needs to kick in and refresh the cache, just so you know that. Silvio, yeah, I mean, it's running. You can see it here. I can't say much. It's actually very smooth as well. And even if it's as complicated as this, there have been huge improvements on performance for the pit wall. Still not perfect. Still not perfect, at least in my eyes, but it's getting there. Donuts always on mode? No, there is no always on mode. You need to trigger it. It's dark mode. So in the spirit of the dark mode, it's something you would have occasionally, like if you need it and stuff like that. So the dashboard color is this, standard color, this is it, and you need to switch to dark mode. It doesn't go to dark mode by default. Jack, yes, Jack. But, and this is what I didn't, if you didn't see the beginning of the stream, I'm working on, sorry, I need some water. So, this requires manual data, and I've done everything, like all tracks in ACC, including Red Bull, which was added like a couple of weeks ago. So it needs the track data to be able to have that circular graph. What I'm doing now is I'm redefining that track data file for everything, so we can include turn numbers and turn names and straight names and sectors and everything in these files. So it's a brand new data format for track data. I will do this. I will implement this new format. I will update it and convert all the current tracks for ACC to that new format. And when I do that, I will open up this format. It will be a repository on GitHub. And hopefully with Jorg, we'll work on a tool. So when you race AMS2, I don't race AMS2. I do ACC, right? I'm not being selfish here, but that's the sim I run. And that's the sim I know how to use. So I did all the tracks myself for ACC. All the tracks for everyone who wants to use them, obviously. But since I don't do iRacing, I don't have... And iRacing is another problem. Like, I can't own all tracks. I just can't. So if anyone wants to create any sim, any track, you will have the tools to create them. And what you do is you commit those changes to the repository, which is an online repository. And the dashboard, when you open a session in AMS2, and you go to a specific track, if that track data exists in the repository online, it will show it. So you won't need to update the dash, which is currently the requirement. So if there's a new track, you will need to update the dashboard to get that information. The new method will be completely online. And if you're asking, well, what if I don't have internet at that point and I just want to race an offline race? Well, you won't have the track data. I'm sorry. Yeah, you need to be online to get that data. And because the way this is going, and don't worry about you know, resources, because I want to find a way. I'm not entirely sure how, but I want to find a way where you launch into a session, it loads the data once, and it just doesn't request it again. I know how to do that, but the tricky part is, if I'm in a session now, like right now I'm at the Nürburgring, what's playing right now, if I close the game or close the replay and launch something else, how do I reset the data? I want to test that and see if it works. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, we'll figure that out. I'll find something. But that's the idea. So to answer your question, can get the track circles of pit wall working in AMS2 as well? It will work, but you, as a user, can contribute that data into that repository when it's ready. It won't take too long. I'm thinking maybe it will be done in February, the new track format. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm continuing with my changelog for version 2.6.1. It's, you know, it's staggering. So we did the opponent's MFM I showed you. I made a small fix for Formula 1 where I'll show you what the problem was, and I don't even know why that actually was like this. I don't know. So when the dashboard starts here, this thing mix when it was 0 for whatever reason. I don't know. Let me turn off the overlay. We don't want to see these things, and I'll move this away. Sylvia, by the way, you can see it's all working, like the dashboard and everything. The pit wall. So it's not the browser, it's something on your system. If the mix, this was the bug that I fixed, if the mix was 0, it would hide the entire square. I don't know why I did that. I have no idea. So what I did, I just re-implemented it. So now if it's 0, then it just basically does whatever it does. And there's also thoughts on removing TC and ABS in Formula 1. Yeah, I know Formula 1 doesn't have TC and ABS, but they are there, as you can see, as assists. And you can change them when you're in assist mode. So I was thinking maybe we have them. But now, if we find something better to put there, which I have a lot of suggestions, I don't need new ones now, so don't bother. I will look at all, I will review those, so maybe I'll have those and say if there is traction control on and ABS, I will show it. If not, I'll just use something else. Or maybe for Formula 1, there will never be traction control or ABS down here, never, and have the other properties, and only when you change it for as the assist, it will just give you a pop-up and show you what traction control you're on. Because in reality, Formula 1 doesn't have any assists. And again, in reality, you shouldn't be using assists. I know you want to have fun sometimes and you just want to go in and pop a few laps. Fine, but I personally have never ever done that. Like any sim I go into, I just remove everything. No assists. And if I can't drive the car, I need to learn how to drive the car. Same thing for Formula 1. It's friggin' hard. But I think that's what, you know, pays off. That's for me. For me, that's the entertainment of the whole thing. So you can have F1 with assists and you know, traction control and ABS, but ideally you wouldn't. So I'm thinking about changing those two. But anyway, the mix has now been fixed, and if you change the mix, it will show up. One thing I also did, and this you can see it right ahead of you right now, is, let me change this. Opponents. Come on. Tires. So here, let's move forward a bit. I have implemented this. This graph here is basically tire temps of F1 2023. The official tire temps, ideal, optimal tire temperatures for every compound. C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, intermediate, and wet. So I have used these temperatures. So 105 is, for C1 it's 105, 102.5 for C2, all the way down to C5, which is 95. This is like the ultra soft, right? And for intermediate it's 85, and wet it's 75. So the optimal working temperatures. These are the temperatures that I have, and in 2.6 these are the ones I had. The only difference is I had it very strict. So if 105 is the optimal for C1, which is the hardest of all compounds, if 105 was optimal, I would have it go blue at 100, so 5 degrees low, and 110 would be red. So that's not actually correct, right? That's not how it should be. I basically give it 20 degrees now. So if the optimal temperature is 105, Then when it's at 85, it'll be blue, but from 85 to 105, it will start becoming green. If you're at 105, it will be that beautiful green optimal color. And then from 105 all the way up to 125, it'll start getting red. And 125, it'll become that nice deep red color where you know you have screwed up badly. So I basically extended the range of the optimal colors. I have not changed the temperatures though. So I'm hoping that this will actually fix the issues that Formula 1 had. The problem with Formula 1 is that there are so many compounds. And the way it was previously set up in 2.5.2 was not based on the actual compound C1 to C5. What we had was the visual compound. So if I don't know if all of you know, but in Formula 1 there are 5 compounds, C1 to C5, and for every given weekend, Formula 1, Pirelli basically decides on 3 compounds. And the 3 compounds are always the same: soft, medium, and hard. They're always the same, but they're not the actual compound that's the same. So soft in Monaco is not the same soft compound in another track. So it's always 3 in a row. So let's say in Monaco you would have hard would be C4, C3 would be hard, medium would be C4, and soft would be C5. Where in Silverstone, hard would be C1, medium would be C2, and soft would be C3. And because of that, the temperatures could not be correct. They could not be correct because I didn't know if you said soft, but I didn't know which compound you were actually using. So I changed all of those calculations in the background, and now I'm looking for the actual compound. As you can see here now, I'm at 99 degrees and it's green. Nice green color. So this is soft 2L. That's another thing. Here it gives you the visual name. So well, these are the soft tires. I don't know which compound it is here. It won't tell me. Don't care. In the background though, the dashboard knows which compound it is, and it's using the correct temperature. So I think this has fixed it. I think this has fixed the issues that we've had. I just put a larger range, and this is for F1. I already have this for ACC, which worked great. I don't know if for the rest of the sims. I mean that could be a huge issue. Something I am willing to tackle, obviously. Still would need a lot of work to gather every single. Although iRacing, who cares, right? Who cares about tires in iRacing? iRacing doesn't care about tires in iRacing, so you don't have the real-time information anyway. So you know, maybe we can do it for the other sims. But you know, Formula 1 wasn't that easy, but it's done, and you can see it looks pretty good here. Jack, he said, thank you so much for that information. That's just lovely what you said, and I was hoping for that way because I know it's not possible to do that for all sims in every track. It's not possible for me to do that, but it's possible for the community to do that. So once I have all the information for the track data, how to gather it, how to implement it, how to input it, it'll be done. I'll publish it, and everyone can just add to the same repository. And then whoever you are, I don't care. You can just use that information in your dashboard. It'll be free for everyone to use, because it will be community effort. I mean, I do the ACC, but everyone can just do everything else. What else have I done? Central module added support for AC pit limiter property. So here's a funny one that I discovered. In AC, pit limiter on does not actually mean pit limiter on the button. So for some reason it was there's a pit limiter on and one more property for AC, which I've added, and now it works fine. Yeah, it's for the large pit limiter and for the pit limiter in the central module, so that's been fixed. Flags, as you already can see, we now have safety car delta and VSC delta. So when you're positive, it's green, and when you're negative, it is red. Let me show you what it looks like when you are negative. There it is. So whenever there's a safety car or a virtual safety car, the flags change. And here's one more thing that I did here. Even if you have set, do I have my coding environment? No, I don't have it. Let's put that there. So even if you have set flags to off, where are they? Show flags. Even if you have show flags to off, which means flags do not show in the dashboard anymore. So there's a setting for that. Let me reset it. Even if you have flags turned off, the safety car and BSC flags live outside of the flags, so they will show up. This is important because this actually can cost you your race. I don't know that. Members in the community and Discord told me that the safety car and virtual safety car flags are not and should not be optional in any way. So if you have turned the flags off in your settings file, so you don't see, you know, the checkered or green flag or blue flag, because you're using, you know, the LED profile, or you're using something else for flags and you don't want to have them in the dash, fine. But SC, safety car, and virtual safety car will show up in the dash no matter what, because you need to know the delta. So that's always going to be there. So, and it's not optional. It's going to be there. And another bug fix I did, which is for ABS. No, not ABS. It's for ABS and traction control. It would light up even if it didn't, if it wasn't needed to. So even if traction control didn't kick in and it would light up, I fixed that. So ABS and TC are now fixed for that. That's the entire 2.6.1 changelog. That's coming this Friday. And I hope you guys like it. All right, let me set up my environment. I'm going to work a bit on the current list of bug fixes that you have mentioned, all of you. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so let me go through the list of bugs that you have reported and see if I can fix any during the live stream. So, bug report. So the tire temperature color is incorrect. I think I fixed that. Actually, I'm going to consider this fixed again. Done. And close that post. I have put in a bug report for the tower versus dash sector discrepancy, and that's what I'm going to look at right now. So let's go to ACC. Let me turn on the overlay and load up a session and turn on the dashboard. So I'll show you guys, if I see it, I need to replicate it, and I'll show you what the problem is. So you guys have them both there, perfect. And to let it run just a tad bit. Okay, so the problem is these sector here, it shows purple for a sector, and then over here it shows purple for a sector. That's fine. These things should match. I saw that in a race, I noticed that, let me show you as much as I can. Let's see here. First sector is green, second is purple, but in my dash they were both green. I took a picture of it. Honestly, I was just driving, I took a picture of it because that's not right. So I want to see if I can replicate that. There it is. There it is. It's replicated. No. Yes. So here it's green, but in the tower it's yellow. So I just need to figure out what I'm doing wrong here. And this is where it begins. And let me open the tower. One of the two is, there's something wrong in one of these two. So let me go and find driver 1, 2, 3, row. And the sectors, fine. And now we have 3 sectors, but what happens here? Background color is driver position, okay, and the sector is 1, 2, 3, okay. What sector? I'm in sector 3 right now. Let me check that. Return sector. So that's sector 1. That's okay, that's good. So the first one is sector 1. Sector 1, 2, and 3. So we got this. This is actually correct. And it's using LD driver sector segment color. Getting the driver position, whichever that one is for me. So it's P1 right now. And the sector that I am in. Sector 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so this is using this function. Let me go over to the dash and see what I'm using here. Ah, perfect. Alright, I need to rebuild this. This is the very, very old version. Okay, segment color. It's not the same as this one. I could use this one directly, but what I want to do is actually make this programmable here. So that has 9 sectors, which was the maximum. What I want to do is have automatically done. Width is sector segment width. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to do it now though. No way. Nada. So what I want to do though, and I think I can, is just copy this and go here and say for sector 1, the background color. What I need to say here is the driver position, which is whatever position I'm in, and the sector, which I know is 1. Because this is how I made it. It's kind of like almost manual. Sector 1. And driver position will be my leaderboard position. So now, this should be yellow and not purple. Okay. Let's try and see. For sector 2. I need to manually do this, obviously, but you know. Who cares? Let's just do for 3 sectors now, and I'll do the rest later. And actually, we'll make this programmatic, the whole thing, because this is like very old. Hit save, and let's see if these things will align now. If this is going to be yellow. It is yellow. Purple yellow, finally. Alright. Okay. They are actually aligning now. Perfect. Mystery solved. But actually, let me... Should I or should I not attempt to do that now? The problem that I'm having is that here, I just expand the sectors as long as they go. I don't really care. You know? I don't really care how long it goes. And I think I can have it like, you know, 9 segments. It can go up to, I think, 12 maximum. They fit. 12 fit. But here, I need these things to be calculated. So if it's 3, they're different widths and positioning. So I need to calculate that. I shall not do that. Unless left segment is... Oh wait, I can do that. Position 3, yeah. And width, okay. Eyes can do that. Alright, okay, hold it. Hold it now. Copy. Paste. Right. Let me get some data here because I don't want to redo everything. Sector count, okay. Sorry, I actually have a dashboard in front of me. I can't see anything, so let me just reduce the height here. It's annoying, I know, but... So come here, and these sectors will have repetitions using that code. 3. Alright, and now delete every other sector in here. Goodbye, y'all. And here, say repeat index. But first, I want to check and see if repeat index is the correct index. 1. Perfect. So, repeat index. That's it. And repeat index here as well. And the color is a repeat index. Get rid of that. Go like that. Good. Visible. Sector count is smaller than repeat index. If I'm 3 and there's... Yeah, sure, okay. Okay, now. Wish me luck. If I reset, will this have 3 sectors in the right size? It should, because I'm using the same exact variables and everything, so... It's working. But wait, that's not all. Let me try iRacing. I know I have a track here, Watkins Glen, I think. With 5 sectors. If it works, I'll be a happy chap. It works. Fuck. That was nice. I will say it was nice. It worked really well. That is nice. Nice. Noise. I don't want to save this. No, that was okay. So now I don't need these. Delete these. And now I need copy. And I need to fix things now. Shit, this doesn't have anything. This doesn't have anything. This one does. So I need to go here and paste that there. Delete that. Go here. Delete this. So now I have those. Okay. But we're not done yet. Sector review. Current sector index. Okay. So here, it's a bit different. This is the sector review. Again, I want to grab a few things and just replicate them here. Fine. Good. Delete all the sectors, and in here current sector index, okay, fine. But here, what do we need? Sector index, repeat index. So this is one of the things I had worked on a while ago. Quite some time. And since then, it has been updated by Nicola. So this has been old code here. So what should I expect? Let me actually delete that. So this is the sector review. Save. Let me go back into ACC. Let's find it different. Here. So what I want to do is move myself into a place where we have more than 2 laps. Good. So now what I'm expecting to see is up here a sector review. Oh no, it's not working. It's not working for some reason. What I do? Hold it now. It was working before, so why wouldn't it be working now? That's interesting. I can get it to work now, but there was a problem with those, the repeat left offset. What if it's 0? Would it be bad? Shouldn't be bad if it's 0. Oh, it's fine. You can see it. So I need to do that here as well. 0 and 0. Okay. Now we have got it. I'm so happy for this. Small things in life. Fixing my own bugs. Win. So what I'm expecting here is once I cross the finish line, which I'm not, I'm in the pits now. Come on. Once I cross the finish line, I'm expecting to see here a review of the previous lap. So let's see, it's gonna do it, and if it is, will it be good? So it's yellow, purple. Cross the line. There it is, yellow, purple, purple. Good, you can see it here. So this basically stops and gives you a review of the previous lap. And when you continue, it'll pick up where you left off. There it is. That is nice. Let's try it again. So I went in the pits again. What am I doing going in and out of the pits? No, it's the replay for the track. Okay, I remember. Again through the pits because I'm doing tests and gathering info. Let's see it again here though. Not in the pits again, am I? I'm in the pits again. What the hell have I, what was I doing that day? Too many pit stops. Okay. It is, yes, it works. Green, green, purple. Perfect. It's working great. A bug fixed. Fixed. Good. I did fix that. Now I need to move these sectors. Not here, we don't have any. Not here, but here. That, and do this. And also, quali, grab these. And sector review, sectors, and paste it there. Remove the old ones, because we had a small change here. Save. Alright. So central is done. Perfect. And you have to change log. Right, now we have that in the change log as well. Where is it in Discord? Where'd you put it? Sylvia, where'd you paste it? Oh, in the pit wall. Oh, okay, now I saw it. Okay. Removing opponent entry cards. Then that lovely dashboard flags DJs and global yellow expression. Yes, sure. Lovely team. Oh, nice catch. Okay. Nice catch. All right, that's using the theme, and the pit wall should not be using the theme. It's a rogue. It's a rogue token. Do me a favor, Silvio. Please post that as a bug, a pit wall bug. Please post it as a pit wall bug. I'll fix it when I'm on working on the pit wall. It is a bug, and I will fix it. It's nothing to worry about. Like, you can continue using it. It's nothing tragic. But I will fix it. Thanks for finding it. There's a report for F123 damage pop-up appears very often, even when there's not much damage. I think I have I've seen that as well. And I don't play F1, so let's test it and see. And also available properties. Damage, what do we have? Okay, so first off, what I want to do, besides all that, is close this. This is done. I'm happy with the central module. Power and central are now in sync. And also move this to the other dashboards as well, so Excel and overlay. So what I want to do here is close that if it wants to close. Now let me turn off this. We don't need that anymore. It's annoying. Go to the MFM. Oh, no. It's the alerts. I just remembered something. Sorry. I know I'm digressing. I always do that. Sorry though. I did fix it, right? So I have Pit limiter on, and game hints, pit limiter on. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I just had to check. I also would have forgotten. So in the alerts, pit limiter, even the large one, is correct. Correctamundo. So damage in F1. This will show fine. Yeah. So this will show no matter the amount of damage. So even if the engine goes up by 1, it will show it. So that is a problem that we may want to fix. But how do I fix that? So now all damage values are at 0. I can see that. Wait, so everything is at 0, I think. Tire damage is we're looking at front left wing damage, front right wing damage, rear wing damage, floor damage, diffuser damage, side pod, gearbox, and engine damage. That's what we're looking for. So so I'm assuming all of these are 0 values. Tires, broke damage, diffuser damage, these are all at 0. Tire damage, we don't care about that. Engine ice wear, okay. So everything is 0. Let me see when this thing appears and just check and see what the values we get. I think the color temperatures are actually working nice now as well, so happy for that. I'm just waiting for an error to appear. Not the error, sorry, damage to appear, which I know it will happen. There it is. Here, I paused it. Everything is okay. The engine is at 117. But what has actually happened? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Everything's at 0, so what's changed? 35. Front right wing damage, 35. So the problem isn't this. The fact that it shows isn't the problem. The fact that we're not showing the damage is the problem. So the front right wing has damage, and it's 35. Front right wing. So if it's smaller than 5, don't do anything. If it's up to 5 and under 30, so now we're at 35, so we should be seeing front wing medium, but we're not. FR wing medium, come on. This, we should be seeing that in orange. But it didn't. I wonder why. It's not even returning that, so that's actually wrong. It should be returning front wing medium, but it's not. Packet? Player? Packet? What? What? Is it? No, sorry, I have to look at all this. Look at all this data. Front right wing. Oh no. No, it's 0. So what has triggered this? Player car damage data and front right wing damage is at 0. Tires damage at 0, so we don't care. Front left wing damage, it's 0. Front right wing, that is 0. Rear wing damage, rear wing, it's 0. Floor damage, it's at 0. Diffuser damage, it's at 0. Side pod damage, Oh wait, do you have it? Side pod damage? It's at 0. Gearbox damage. FG. Yeah, and it's still correct one. It's 0, and engine damage is at 0. What the hell is triggering this? What is triggering the damage? It's true. One of these values are triggering the damage. And I don't know which one. What the hell? Alright, we gotta do something here. I'm gonna break a few things. Can't crack a few eggs. It's returning 1. Which one is it though? It is returning 1. So and it's only one of these. So let me start deleting. Actually, let me go from the bottom up. Easier. No. Oh. Oh, gearbox damage. So if I remove everything and just leave gearbox, should be 1. It is. But gear player card damage gearbox. Oh. Yeah. Gearbox damage. Then why isn't this appearing as a color? So if we know it's the gearbox, right? Celia, sorry for that. Yes, yes. In the members area, the pit wall bugs. I mean, there's no point in posting bugs in the public area, is it? Engine. Okay, I can see why. The problem is, does it go beyond that? Gearbox 4. Yeah, it does. 7. Okay, okay. So now, gearbox damage is 9. Engine blown. Really? Was looking at the wrong one. Gearbox damage. Oh shit. Okay, we have it over 40. Smaller than 40. It doesn't show anything. So here's the thing now. Here's the thing now. Gearbox damage is at 9. With the value 9. And we have anything under 40. It's not much of a damage. Like, don't change the color. So, The alert is triggered automatically this is triggered if any of these values change. So even if it's now up to 9, it will trigger it, but it won't show you anything because it's still considered okay. Yeah, there's not much I can do here as is. What I could do is possibly like gearbox here, instead of having it say, you know, okay, it could just show the number. So for instance here I could actually put the value, which is... Don't know if that's useful though. I do know the problem now. At least we know the problem. So I guess the only thing we can do, or just giving an example here for the gearbox, is say anything under 40 is also gearbox light. So this would show up like that. So let's see what this would look like, and you know, we can decide later. So now, although it's okay, check this over here. Although it's okay, it does show you that's something that's kind of like getting in there, you know? It's having an issue. How you doing, Irix? Jorg, how you doing, buddy? Mark, if you go to race department and type live track corner names, shows all corner names on all ACC tracks. Yeah, I mean, I already have that. Oh, the corner names, you mean? Okay, I'll check it. I'll also see the license. If it's something I can use, fine. If it's not, we'll just do it on our own, or the community will do it. I don't know. It's gonna be an open source project, the entire naming thing. So, and it will just not just for ACC. It'll be for all tracks. So my intention, Mark, is to convert the information that I have collected to this repository. And then if you, and if anyone else wants to update it and add names and add straight names and everything, you are free to do so. You can create branches, commit, do whatever you want. I think I'll be reviewing, but I won't be really checking, you know? I can't. So I'll have to kind of rely on trust, to be honest. So what do I do here? Guys, what do I do here for Formula 1 damage? This is like 0 damage right now. Like gearbox has 0 actually it actually is 0. Why is it showing up like that? Oh yeah. Even if it's 0, it shows light. So what do I do? Like, even if the gearbox, if it goes up by 1, it will produce an error, show the alert. But 1 isn't enough to show a problem in the car, because it's not a problem, it's just wear, basically. And we only do that over 40. Like once it goes over 40, that's when we start showing. So what do I do? What do I do? Doobie doobie doo. Doobie doobie doo. What do I do, guys? Come on. Gearbox light, heavy, medium. Like, if it's 1, if the damage is at 1, from 0 to 100, it's 1, it's not considered damage, but I actually produce the error. So maybe not show an error? Maybe make it so this damage AMS2, again, it's the same thing. Damage in general. Here, make it so it wouldn't trigger with anything under 10, but it would still have a problem. Like, even if I say trigger only if the value is over 10, it would still collect, but if the gearbox damage was 10, it still wouldn't show anything. What do I do? I don't know. I'm going to leave it as is. I can't solve this now. The thing is, it shows you that there is some change in the damage status of the vehicle, and there is, but it's so minimal, there isn't actually a damage. Maybe we shouldn't show engine damage. Maybe we should keep this only for front, floor, diffuser, side pod. let engine and gearbox out of it. What do you guys think? Wait, here's the thing. Should I leave engine, gearbox, and engine and gearbox outside of this damage window? Maybe we don't need it here, because like in ACC, when you crash, that's when you see some damage. It wouldn't show you damage for the engine or the gearbox. So maybe we do the same thing here. What do you guys think? I'm tired too. I'm very tired. Give me an answer. Give me a straight answer. Everyone, should I just remove gearbox and engine? Hey Matt, same thing as in tired? Or same thing as in hello? I'm gonna assume it's tired. So I think this is good. This is the only thing I want to solve with you guys. And since you're here, let me know. Doesn't look as clean. What doesn't look as clean? Okay. So if we get rid of the gearbox and engine damage, then it won't produce the alert. The alert will only show up if you've got actual aero damage. So it will take into account front wing, rear wing, floor, diffuser, and side pod damage. That's when it will show. But in your dash, you can still navigate to this screen. So if you want to see engine and everything else, you still can see it here. Maybe I can have, instead of OK, instead of giving you OK, maybe giving you a number. Would that help? So for the alerts, I'm going to remove it. Okay, so now it's not going to produce an error for these. This is just for the alerts. I don't care about this screen over here. You can see it. It's not going to produce an error for that. It will have the values in here. I'm not going to remove those. Sorry, but I'm not going to remove those. I'm not going to make another diagram. It is a lot of work, and it's going to be double work for something that we already have it here. Like, why would I want to create something different? The thing is, an alert will appear only if you have aero damage. It will list your gearbox and everything as okay or whatnot. I remember I didn't actually code this bit. Like, this is stuff that Steve Matar did for Formula 1 because he contributed this. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm also trying to figure out like how he did it and everything. So let me save this. Just give me a second. Save this, and we'll take a look here. So it shouldn't produce any errors now, because there shouldn't be any errors. There aren't any errors, you can see. I'm going to go through the entire race without any errors. Nothing is working. Yeah, this is good. But there would be gearbox error. At this point, right now here, gearbox damage is 1. Here it's 5. It's still okay. Like, in this screen, it is okay. Like, there's no reason for me to produce any error for that. What if... No. I'll leave it like this. I'll leave it like this and see how you guys get along. If it's something that works for you. Okay, so I'm going to go and say this is done and close this error as well. Good. Oh, let's go look at what Daniel has sent us. Rogue pixels. When the pit limiter is engaged. How the hell? Curious. So Daniel says that there is, as per his images, suggest a rogue pixel here. I don't know if you guys can even see it. There's a pixel down here. I think I know, but why the hell is that happening? Since pit limiter large has a full opaque background image. So how the hell would this show? I need to do something here. I need to go and edit my settings file, switch it over to my settings file, switch it over to show flags. No, I don't want them. Pit large, show that. All right, very fresh, very fresh. Don't know about a. Let's go to ACC where we know we have pit limiter. In here, I'm going to start. We'll see the pit limiter on, and I'm going to try and see if I can see anything. I'm assuming it's this red thing here, but it can't be. Wait for the pit limiter. It's on. There are no rogue pixels, Daniel. I'm gonna make this thing as large as possible. There are no rogue pixels. I don't see anything. Oh shit, I can see something here. Okay, this is super odd. Check this out, guys. There is something there. Up to there. What? What is this? It starts there and ends here. But it's not on this dash, so... It's not here. It's not. Is this? Could this be that? Could it be alerts? No, it can't be alerts. And this isn't on, so this is completely out of the question, it being something wrong. Background color, there's nothing else here. So this is just the blue color for the pit limiter, and this is just the full-blown background color. 850 by 480, 00, so it's covering the entire background. Curious, if I save now, will it show it here again? Yep. I do see it. I do see it, but it is not in the dash. This is something different. Who are you gonna call? Oh man, what is this? I don't know. Oh, I have no idea. It's not part of the dash. It's some rendering issue, I think. I can see it too, but it's in a different place. Or isn't it? It's gotta be something I'm doing wrong. This is an overlay on top of the dash. It's gotta be something I'm doing wrong. There's no other explanation. Neither that. And it's in a weird position. Like, I'd assume it's something behind it, but there's nothing there. So if it goes away... No. That is so weird right now. There's nothing there for this to actually... Like, even if this was on, which it isn't... This goes all the way on. Nope, nothing shows. Boom. Gone. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, it's an odd thing to look at. Let's go zoom in. This is gonna be really odd. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. Top left for it's completely square? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things. One of those things. We just have to accept it. You know what? If you have a problem, and that problem does not have any apparent solutions, no matter how hard you're working on it, well then you just have to accept that it's not a problem. Alright, updating the ticket and going to close it. I don't know what those are. Probably some rendering issue from SimHub itself. So I'm going to say done and closed. I cannot possibly continue trying to fix this thing. Pit large, I don't like the pit large myself. I'm going to turn it off. And restart the dash. Alright, it's 11:30 p.m. I think I'm going to stop. It's a good 2-hour stream with no racing. Obviously, looking at the pit wall features, you were asking first, strength of field, rating, those are going to be for iRacing in the pit wall. They will be coming in the pit wall. I have added them. Alright, so for the bugs, various incorrect features, I'm not going to answer all of those. And a lot of those can't actually. A lot of these things that Joe has asked, as mentioned in the bug report, have been answered in many streams. RF2 fuel to add, I can't do that now. Requests and suggestions. Peer-to-peer for IndyCar. So here's the thing. Whenever you have a suggestion, feature, or bug report, and it's something that's not implemented, for example, push to pass for IndyCar, please submit a SimHub replay. There's information in the FAQ on Discord how to record a replay, and if it's too large, just put it in a Dropbox or somewhere and send that over. Because if you want the feature and it has a specific way of working, like push to pass, there's specific data points that I need to include. I don't have the car and I can't drive it, so you guys need to send me the SimHub replay that has that telemetry, and I can use that to replicate the issue, find the the appropriate properties, and incorporate them in the dash. Alright, that's pretty much it. I will stop right now. Stop this madness. Let me get the ending ready. Closing scene. Sorry. There. Move. Move. Good. Close these things. Good. And over here. Perfect. Good. Alright, and that is the end of the stream. And as always, ending this stream on a high, I wanted to say thank you to all the lovely members. It is insane how many members currently are signed up, and it's going to get better. I keep on saying that, but trust me, it's going to get better. I have a call tomorrow. I set up a call. I requested a call with someone to try and get a bit more value out of the whole thing. So, depending on the call tomorrow, I may have some really nice news on the stream tomorrow. But the truth is, the lovely community is expanding. Discord is at over 5,000 members now. YouTube is nearly, it actually is over 2,800. Lovely members are over 530, but we also have some very special lovely members, the gold lovely members, and I would like to give a shout out to all of them. So, Anthony Hall, Augustine Martin, Cody Fowers, Corey Wise, Dan Westerman, Daniel Newman, Enrique Castillo Bachero, Brian Spirakus, Graham Baptiste, Jeff King, Iñaki Duranona, Jason Rivera, Jared Davis, Chris Rollins, Marianne Christel, Maximilian Kraus, Michael Poliato, Brad Jackson, Robert Robles, Rito Brulman, Sean Reed, Simon Tunin, Tiago Silva, Tobias Hoff, William Martin, Josh Fulton, Mark Worthington, and Mark Gale. Thank you so much for your support going over and beyond as Gold Lovely members. And thank you to every single one of you that is a current member. If you would like to support the project, if you'd like to support me, and the whole thing that I'm working on, please consider becoming a member. Memberships start at €1 and go up to 9. All membership levels have all the pre-releases of the lovely dashboard as I develop them, and on Wednesdays you see me working on them. And Gold and Pro and Gold members also get the pit wall. There is a huge list of things that I want to do. In Discord, I've also opened up the roadmap again, so you can go and see exactly what 2.7 will bring to the lovely dashboard and the ecosystem. And the path to 2.7 belongs to members. So if you are a member, you will have all of these pre-releases up until 2.7. 2.7 will be released in 3 to 4 months from now. So if you're a non-member, you have 2.6, that's what you have. It's reserved, updates are reserved only for critical breaking changes. So like, let's say SimHub comes out with something that's completely broken, I will issue an update for everyone. But until then, all the updates are for lovely members only. It is a way to say thank you for someone that's supporting me. So you guys get like almost every Friday, like every other 2 weeks maximum, you get a new version. And if you're a Pro and Gold member, you also get the lovely pit wall. And that's pretty much it for me for tonight. I'm dead tired. Mark, I need a fitness program. I need to get in shape. I ain't gonna do it alone. Mark, help me. Jason, haha, you were hiding. You were hiding all along, weren't you? In and out, in and out. Yeah, tomorrow. Let's not forget. Tomorrow I'm racing in Kyalami for the Warrior Series. Stream will start around 7:15 UK GMT time. But there will be 2 hours of myself practicing on Kyalami, just getting up to speed with the track and the car, setup and everything. And then the race will start 9:15, again, GMT, UK time. And it is a 69-minute race. Does that number feel weird? Well, trust me, Bongo Racing, the community that's organizing this, is as hilarious as the numbers of the number of minutes in their races. So yeah, they're a great lot. So yeah, tomorrow, don't forget, I will be racing. There will be a lot of racing tomorrow and quali sessions and everything. Hope we'll have a good race. All right, thank you very much, everyone, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I will see you tomorrow.